If you see a question in the exam that contains a diagram, look at the diagram and see what can you see. So I see these two arrows over here. And if you see two arrows, you know it indicates that two lines, line AB and line EH, those two lines are parallel to each other. Also, there's a single arrow over here, and that indicates that this line AD and the line BC, those two lines are parallel to each other. When you deal with parallel lines, look at your formula sheet, because here you know you have alternate angles, corresponding angles, or interior angles. And those rules we're gonna probably need in the question that we're gonna do, but let's take it step by step. I'm just gonna do 6.2, 6.3, and 6.4. So let's do 6.2, determine the size of EFA. So where's angle EFA? There's E, there's F, and there's A. If you connect it, we're dealing with this angle over here. So that's the angle that we want, EFA. Let's mark it over there. So if you have the angles, let's again look at the formula sheet. And why the formula sheet? Because I'm going to use this here, angles on a straight line. Why? Because if you look in here, that's a straight line. And these two angles, angle EFA and this angle of 112, those angles lie on the straight line. And now you can use the formula and you can write down EFA, angle EFA plus 112 degrees equals 180 degrees. The reason will be angles on a straight line, and always write down your reasons. Angles on you can just write STR line, because the reason, if you write the reason, you'll get extra marks for that. Alright, now what we want this EFA to stand alone. And when we do that, we're going to take the EFA, put it alone, and then equals 180 degrees. But now what we want to do, this plus 112, we want to move over to the right hand side. And if we move it over to the right hand side, the plus 112 now becomes minus 112. And now you just do the calculation, 180 minus 112 degrees, that will give you 68 degrees. And that will be this angle over here is now 68 degrees. Now, next question. The next question is determine angle BGE. Now, where's angle BGE? There's B, there's G, and there's E. If we connect that, we're dealing with this angle over there. That's angle BGE. So now, to determine angle BGE, again, let's look what we have. Let's look at the parallel lines, the formula sheet, and what I'm going to do, I see a F. Where's the F? Here's the F. The F is upside down F, but it's still a F. Why? Because this line over here, AD, is parallel to line BC, like we explained at the beginning. Therefore, this angle here, angle EFA, is equal to this angle. Both of them are 68, and that will be your answer. So I'm just going to write 68 for now. And now let's just work out the answer. So you write down, we're looking for BG, angle BGE. So BGE equal angle EFA, and that is equal to 68 degrees. And the reason is corresponding angles. But now, very important, you have to highlight what lines are parallel. I'm just going to draw the F again. So there's the F, that's the two angles. And this line here, AD, is parallel to line BC. Then you have to write it down. Line AD is parallel to line BC. Again, the reason is very important. Right, let's do the last one. So the last one, determine the size of FAB. Where's FAB? There's F, there's A, and there's B. if we connect it FAB, then we're dealing with this angle over here. So there's FAB. Now again, let's see what we have. Look at the formula sheet, and if you look at the formula sheet, you see a Z. There's the Z. Why? Because these two lines are parallel to each other, AB and EH. And if they are parallel, it means this angle's over here. That is the alternate angles. And that angle, they will be equal to each other. That means this angle FAB will also be equal to 68 degrees. So let's write it down. So FAB, angle FAB equal angle EFA, and that is 68 degrees. Oops, 68 degrees. And the reason is alternate angles. Again, very important, write down the two lines that you've used. So we've used, let me just draw the Z again. We've used this line here, EH, and this line here, AB. Therefore, you need to write AB is parallel to EH. And there you have your answers. Let me just show you one last thing. If you look at your formula sheet here, we have vertical angles. But we didn't do the vertical angles here, but here's two lines, and this angle here, EFD, are vertically opposite to angle AFH, this angle. Therefore, because they are vertically opposite, this is also 112 degrees. But let me just show you another thing. If you look at your formula sheet, you have interior angles. We didn't do it here, but just in case you get to it, interior angles say if you have two parallel lines, for example, these two parallel lines over there, it means the two angles that is interior, that two angles must equal 180. And yes, indeed, because if you look at 68 plus 112, it equals 180. That's just more tips and tricks in case you need it in the